My name's host Eric, and I'm here to say I left my glasses inside today. I'll have to go fetch them. I had intended to bring them out with me, but I did successfully retrieve the weed, papers, concentrate, and bong. I left my glasses right here. How silly of me. Without these, I can't read your chats on the phone. And I think we all know how important it is to all of us that I read your chats on the phone. It's a beautiful day here in Mariposa, as you can see. Another beautiful day. We got blue skies. I got some big white puffy clouds, but not in the immediate vicinity right now. We had some earlier. Well, what have we here? So, let's talk a little bit about karma. Why, Eric? Why are you talking about karma today? What happened to make you talk about karma? Nothing. Nothing really. Rachel said the other day to me about a plan I had in place, namely to change doctors to actually have a real doctor and not just keep asking the same guy to refill my prescription every month without ever going to see him, you know. But I felt like bad kind of, so I said to change doctors. Of course, it'll be an added expense. I was kind of lamenting that, but explained to Rachel how I felt bad for the doctor, really, because he's got to deal with me, you know. I'm not really an ideal patient, you might say. I'm a suboptimal patient. Anyway, fly. I don't want there to be a fly here. I don't remember inviting any flies to this party. She said it would be good karma. I thought, oh, that's nice. The idea of karma is basically a just world fallacy, you know, like. But the thing is, when you incorporate a little bit of magical thinking, it doesn't really seem like a fallacy anymore. And ultimately, I think the thing to remember is there's no reality in which we tell ourselves no stories, right? In every reality we can conceive of for ourselves or others, we're telling stories. We're telling stories about ourselves. We're telling stories about the world. We're telling stories about our place in the world, what things mean, etc. I should have gotten another pack of papers. This one might be good enough so I can get it out. These papers got wet. Aha, I got one good paper out of it. I went to get cigarettes at Boot Jack earlier. 45-minute round trip. But not too bad, really. You know, 20 minutes to get there, 5 minutes in the store, 20 minutes to get back. There's no traffic today, no cone putters. We've been having a lot of cone putters lately, and I'm pretty sure I figured out why and where they're coming from and what they're doing. And I kind of almost confirmed it yesterday when I was watching TV. As I was fast forwarding through commercials, 15 seconds at a time, as I do on YouTube TV, I was halted by a PG&E commercial that showed a trench digging machine. Wait, what is this? What does this commercial say? And its message was, at PG&E, we're doing everything in our power to make energy safer. Whether that means more sturdy power poles that can withstand harsher weather, or burying power lines to prevent wildfires. That's what it said in the commercial. This is exactly what I hypothesized they were doing. Now, I still haven't confirmed that it's PGE doing what I say they're doing in any real sense, but at this point, I'm very convinced that within a year or so, we're not going to have any fucking above ground power cables out here, which will be fantastic, you know? I'm pretty sure the phone company's already going underground. At least for the fiber optics, I know they are. Listen, you fly. Get away. I didn't invite you. I don't want you. I don't like you. So, that's pretty cool. It makes me feel pretty good about all the road work being done. Because if they're burying cables, we won't have any more power outages, which would be nice. But also, what's almost more important to me is presumably they'll take down all the overland power lines out here. That'd be fantastic, because they're ugly, obviously. So, I guess it was last night, it might have been the night before, Rachel and I went outside and saw these bright lights in the sky. It looked kind of like lightning, like off in the distance, but there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Well, this morning I read an article about how, quote unquote, dry lightning was striking the vicinity yesterday. It's actually about Merced, but rather than Madera County. But I'm assuming that must be what we were witnessing, was dry lightning from far away. It went on for quite some time. It was irregularly spaced. It makes sense. I mean, the reason I came across the article in part, I suppose, is because no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just saw the article in the local news section of Google News. I think maybe I Googled it. I don't think I ever did. Now, granted, one could say, oh, there's some sort of conspiracy. There's no such thing as dry lightning. Oh, well, hi, Rachel. At least it's consistent with what we saw. Because what Rachel and I said, we're like, well, what is that, And the only comparison we come up with is it looks like lightning. But how could it be lightning? There's no clouds in the sky. Well, there probably were some clouds over there. It didn't rain, but apparently it lightning and thundered. It was far enough away that we couldn't hear the thunder, I guess. It kind of got a bit of a swamp gas explanation feel to it, but I think it's accurate in this case. We had a lot of vigorous drone activity last night, Saturday night, but that's normal for Saturday nights, I went to Boot Jack, by the way, Rachel, to get cigarettes while you were sleeping. I looked at you, I thought about going, hey, Rachel, I'm going to Boot Jack. But you look so peaceful, I just thought, well, hopefully she won't get up till I get back. You know how much a carton of cigarettes is in Boot Jack? This has got to be the cheapest place to buy cigarettes in all of California. $109 for a carton of cigarettes at Boot Jack. $109.73. You cannot find a carton of cigarettes anywhere else for under 120 bucks that I can think of. And it just so happens we live right. The closest place for me to get cigarettes is Boot Jack. I mean, I could go to Triangle Market. It might be slightly closer, but um, basically same time distance. Boot Jack's cheaper. Yeah, I know. That's $10.97 per pack. In California, that's a really good price. Keep in mind that's out the door. After all the taxes and everything. So, I feel fortunate that we live so close to such a cheap cigarette store. Now, granted, I only sometimes get an actual carton. This time I did not get an actual carton. They put 10 packs in a bag for me. That's because they don't keep the cartons up front. They keep the cartons in the back. And if there's people in the store, they don't want to go back there, because it's busy or whatever. And I say, that's fine. I don't care if you put them in a bag or if I get the actual carton. Because you're charging me the same price. As long as they charge me the carton price, what do I care, I don't need that extra box. A bag is perfectly fine extra thing for me to have. Now, where did I put those pesky cigarettes? Where did I put them? They're my keys. Don, where they inside the house? Why am I so dumb? I've been just kind of mildly musing on this laws of stupidity thing. Like, how can we collapse stupidity down into something really concrete and meaningful? It's not so assaultive. And I would say that a better definition of stupidity, or a good, like, these are the real rules of stupidity kind of thing. One of them would be an inability or unwillingness to distinguish between critiques of behavior, critiques of language, and critiques of person. So one way the stupidity manifests that's most informative is that it tends to manifest as critiques of person, where a critique of behavior or critique of language would be more appropriate. You might, in some sense, also call this laws of toxicity. The laws of toxicity, number one, is toxic people are either unwilling or unable to distinguish between critiques of person, critiques of language, and critiques of behavior, and the corresponding context where each is appropriate. That's rule number one. Rule number two is stupidity fails to recognize that two wrongs don't make a right. Stupidity fails to recognize that two wrongs don't make a right. You can't say, like, for example, like they did in Naked and Afraid, Last One Standing with Jeff. You didn't share, so, and that's wrong. So now none of us are going to share it with you. Two wrongs don't make it right, okay? And if you fail to recognize that, an inability or unwillingness to distinguish between, or to acknowledge the primacy of the law that two wrongs don't make a right. And number three, an inability or unwillingness to justify means by something other than the ends. Those are the three Eric laws of toxicity / stupidity / evil in the world, right? So, number one, I'll repeat them so I remember them because I just came up with them right now. I mean, I come up with the first one earlier, but I realized the other two right now. Number one is an inability or unwillingness to distinguish between critiques of person, critiques of language, and critiques of behavior. If I critique your behavior, you think I critiqued your person. If you want to critique my behavior, instead you critique my person. If you should critique my behavior, instead you critique my person. Okay, so that's the number one universal law of stupid people. Is stupid people do that. Stupid and or toxic, okay? Number two. Stupid people are unwilling or unable to acknowledge the primacy of the law. The two wrongs don't make a right. Stupid people believe in an eye for an eye, okay? Even if you did gouge out my eye, that doesn't mean that we should gouge out your eye to make things just. If eye gouging, or maiming as it's called, also known as mayhem, the crime of purposeful maiming, is called mayhem, is inherently wrong, then we shouldn't use it as a punishment. It's barbaric, right? Torture. If torture is inherently wrong, we shouldn't use it as punishment, even for torturers. So, two wrongs don't make it right. It's something that stupid people don't get. And then the third, and equally important law, nice to have things in threes, is that they are unable or unwilling to justify their means with anything other than the ends. Now, there's a practical test for stupidity right there. If you meet those three criteria, then you are stupid. And probably evil. I guess I'll make a video about that. Call it Eric's 3 Laws of Stupidity. And it's much better than Bohemers or whatever, I think. It's more operationalized, although some parts of Bohemers are operationalized well. Like, I think it's fair to say that the equation of spite with stupidity that he makes is, how'd you call it? Eric's 3 Stupid Laws. And then people will think, oh, but that's stupid. Eric, you misplaced your modifier. And I'll be like, no. I correctly cupped Ruben's good idea to be extra smart. I think those are 3 good laws for stupidity. Number 1. I have to say it again so I remember it. Number one is a refusal or inability to distinguish between personal attack. I mean, critiques of person, critiques of behavior, and critiques of language. Number two, an unwillingness or inability to acknowledge the primacy of the law. Two wrongs don't make it right. And number three, that inability or unwillingness to, like, ever justify means with anything other than ends. I mean, everybody might do it occasionally. But if you never justify your way of doing things by anything but pointing to the desirable ends that you're going to accomplish, you have met one of the three checklist check boxes for stupid. Okay? If you check all three, then you are officially probably irredeemably stupid. So check yourself right now. See if you check all those boxes. Can you distinguish between critiques of person, critiques of behavior, and critiques of language? A critique of person is like, you're so selfish. A critique of behavior is, you should have saved the last donut for me. A critique of language is, why didn't you ask me or inform me before you took the last donut? That's the difference between the three things. The latter two are generally okay because presumably you can resolve those questions, like who was actually right or wrong in their behavior and or language, you know. Tell us, Eric, about how you understand and manage details, but they are still like a splinter under your nails. My feels are uncomfortable. I don't? Maybe? I don't know if I manage details very well. I mean, I have a life that's well suited for me. It doesn't require me to attend to a lot of details. You know, the detail I do attend to is, here, Delilah, here's all this mail for you to deal with. So, you know. Oh, Rachel, if you're still listening, I wanted to tell you something. I realized something about the water bill. That guy informed us that the deadline was September 22nd. Probably everybody's going to send their thing in to P.O. Box this month. He's just waiting till like the 22nd or the 23rd to gather all of those checks at one time so he doesn't have to go back and forth to the P.O. Box. Right? Makes sense. I think I'm right about that. And I don't know if you were listening earlier, but I got further confirmation that I probably am right about the power cables being buried. I saw a PG&E commercial when I was watching football yesterday, and it said, we're doing things to make energy safer in California. We're putting up stronger power poles to withstand more weather conditions. Burying cables to prevent wildfires. Burying power cables to prevent wildfires. They said that on the commercial, and they showed a digger that they like the ones they're using over here. So that's pretty good confirmation that we're getting our power lines buried, which is great. All right. They're doing it someplace. They're probably referring to just right here is where they're doing it. They're like, okay, we'll do it right there. Then we can make the claim. But the great thing will be if they actually take down the overland power lines, which look ugly. That'll help the scenery quite a bit. Well, Rachel, also, I should inform you, I I fell off the Clonopin wagon. I took half of one of your Clonopins today. And it was more like 2/3 because I used the bad chopper and I took the bigger half. I tried to chop it in the middle, but you know how that chopper is. Why do you feel a little bit like energized and chilled out at the same time by it? You know, I've been a little grumpy. I attributed it maybe to Klonopin withdrawal or something. It still may be the case, but I was thinking, when's 72 hours from now when I took it? Because I need to go longer than 72 hours to make sure that it's actually not Klonopin withdrawal. Yeah, today. Like after I got up before I went to boot jack. Right. If we don't have any more power outages, that would be great. But really, what's exciting is the idea that there won't be any power cables coming back here. It'll really look more like the woods, you know? And I'm excited about the growth of the just the land around here. We came in right after the worst fire in modern Mariposa history. It produced a lot of burn areas around us and stuff, but things are coming back. And we had a beautifully wet winter. We've even had a wet summer, amazingly. We got decent amount of rain this summer. Normally, the amount of rain you get in a summer in California is 0. So even like half an inch total for the summer is like a good wet summer, wet, hot American summer. Which I gotta say did not rewatch very well. This morning I watched most of, although I still have a little bit to go of it. A movie called Inner Space with Martin Short. Because I don't know if you remember, Rachel, or if anybody else here remembers, because I may have talked about it on the live stream as well. I read this article in Slate the other day that was dissing Martin Short, and it made me mad. And I think I got into bed with Rachel and I said, I just read this article about Martin Short. I did not like it at all. Well, neither did the rest of the internet. Today I go on Google News, and Google News is littered with articles about how stupid and shitty that Slate hit piece was. you know. And it prompted a lot of people to start referencing various Martin Short works. Like I watched this morning Martin Short's SCTV imitation of Jerry Lewis, which is just fantastic. Jerry Lewis is so terrible. Yeah, well, I was annoyed by the article, but so was like everybody else. Obviously, there's multiple articles slamming that. And a lot of them mentioned this movie Inner Space. It stars Martin Short and Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid, a Quaid. Okay, it stars a Quaid. The Quaids were the proto Baldwins, I think. Is it fair to call the Quaids the proto Baldwins? Somebody who knows about celebrities, inform me if that's fair or unfair of me. I think it's fair. Was there a Quaid in Dirty Dancing? There was, right? One of the main guy in Dirty Dancing is a Quaid. It was the other Quaid. It's in this movie. The other Quaid. The better Quaid. I think the other Quaid's the better Quaid. I think the Quaid in Dirty Dancing is not a good actor. If he's in fact a Quaid. If I'm wrong about this, please somebody correct me before I continue making a fool of myself. But I'm pretty sure the guy in Dirty Dancing was a Quaid. And the guy in Inner Space was definitely a Quaid. Do we have any Quaid fans here? Either of the two people here? Either Rachel or somebody else? Are either of you a Quaid fan? Of either Quaid? Oh, Patrick Swayze is in Dirty Dancing. So Patrick Swayze is not a Quaid. ID4, is that Independence Day? Or what? I think it was, okay, that might have been the same Quaid that was in Inner Space. I'm on my phone, I can't Google it myself. So if somebody else can Google, then we can get to the bottom of this Quaid Swayze question. Are Quaid and Swayze an example of the Mandela effect? Yes, a terrible film, but the better Quaid was in it. Who's the other Quaid besides Randy? He's Quaid adjacent. I think he was formerly a Quaid in another universe. He was a third Quaid. Dennis Quaid? Quaid adjacent. I like that distinction for sure. Quaid adjacency is something we should all measure in the same way that we can measure Kevin Bacon adjacency. Like, I am linked to Randy Quaid because I once knew Sylvester Stallone's retarded kids' grandmothers. No. And she knew Randy Quaid's pool boy. And that's how I'm connected to the Quaids. So we still don't have any definitive answer on which Quaid was in Inner Space. It remains Dennis Swayze Quaid. Well, you don't want to hyphenate your name. If your name's John Dixon and your wife's name is Mary Hand, you don't want to hyphenate that last name. Dixon Hand is is a non-optimal name. And if you do choose to hyphenate your name, so your last name is now Dixon Hand, make sure not to name your son Holden, or your daughter, for that matter. Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is in Inner Space. What's the other Quaid in? Tell me something that the other Quaid is in. See, I think in another universe, before the split with Nelson Mandela, that Nelson Mandela caused. Yes, Lieutenant Tuck Pendleton. That's right. Martin Short plays Jack, a nervous, excitement-avoiding, mousy guy who becomes empowered by the requirements of having to save Dennis Quaid by getting him out of his body so that he can unminiaturize. This was a Steven Spielberg film, Inner Space. What I enjoy about it is how 1987 it is. It takes me right back to the year 16 years old. There's this scene shot in a mall. It's the whole thing is shot in San Francisco. Back when you could film something in San Francisco because it was still a decent place that you could visit, you know. You hear those Blue Jays? They're probably asking for more cutlets, even though I gave them cutlets earlier. And then, but I exploited them for free animal labor. They starred in one of my shorts, the Blue Jay. I put the phone on the wall. I got this fold phone, you know. Look, see? Oh. What'd you do, Ark? I folded it, is what I did. I could fold it even more. You're so folded now. Now I gotta unfold it. There. Hi, Acacia. There's always another Quaid. Is there? Well, there used to be. Prior to Nelson Mandela's death, which caused the Mandela effect, Patrick Swayze was a Quaid. He was Patrick Quaid. There was Dennis, Randy, and Patrick Quaid, the Quaid boys, a.k.a. the Proto Boys. Dandy Quaid. Oh, well, yeah, okay. In the original universe, you're right, Kermit's Pimp. It was Patrick Quaid and Dandy Quaid. In the new universe, Dandy Quaid split into two, Randy and Dennis, and Patrick became a Swayze. Well, that goes to the INTP territory. Or at least never wrong. By refusing to commit to anything non-conditionally, the INTP manages to never be wrong. This guy's preventing bad juju from coming to the house. Twist time man. Rachel called him something else the other day. I don't remember what it was. Rachel sometimes calls things by funny names. Some of them I remember better than others. She had a great one just yesterday, or the day before. I don't remember what it was. It seems to me it was so odd I didn't even know what she was talking about at first, but I don't remember exactly. I don't know. He said he was an INTP. I just went with it. Oh, yeah, I know who Randy Quaid is. Yeah, he's the more goofy of the two Quaids. Dennis being more the leading man type. Patrick was also always considered the slightly retarded one until they split into two different families with Nelson Mandela's death. There was a brief period of time after Nelson Mandela's death where they were still Dandy and Patrick, and then they became Randy and Dennis and Patrick, and then Patrick became Swayze. So it was during that brief period of time there, in case you caught a continuity flaw. Well, you didn't. Okay. I had accounted for that already. Okay, fine. I'm just making all this up as I go. You caught me. I can't believe Jeffrey's mom tried once again to get me to work on the same college admissions personal statement essay while continuing to ignore everything I said every time I talked to her about it before. TI ignoring. So that's what TI ignoring looks like. I'm like, TI ignoring plus NI polar. Oy, oy, oy. It's like, let your son authentically express himself. He doesn't want to express things about the difficulties he overcame in childhood and having a disability or some shit like that, which he doesn't have. Overcoming a disability. Come the fuck on. I said, look, you want to write a good college admissions essay, go like this. I am all races, all genders, and every disability that's arbitrary. So go ahead and give me whatever extra points I get for whatever is your favorite special group. Now that we're done with that garbage, let's go ahead and give you actual reasons why you should matriculate me into your university. You know, things linked to my academic competence. So, we had a attachment. I am not working on this again. You keep asking me to do the same work over and over again. I keep telling you how to do it, helping you, and then you just ignore what I say. Well, because the guidance counselor says he should be on it. Well, tell the guidance counselor to go fuck herself, She's a guidance counselor, for God's sakes. That doesn't mean she's giving you orders. It's supposed to be guidance. You can reject that guidance, or else it's no longer guidance, it's a command. Did I see the silly incident with the grade schooler, the Gadsden flag, and the teacher who was convinced that the Gadsden flag was expressly for slavery? No, not heard anything about it. Not familiar with the Gadsden flag. Don't know what that is. Eric once again demonstrates how to answer questions when you don't know anything about them. There's another law you could add to the stupidity one is stupid people, either for lack of ability or willingness, answer questions even when they don't know the answers, with answers other than I don't know. Problem. Things can come in 3 or 5. They can come in 4. That's the wrong number of things. Everybody knows that. That's why my car has 3 tires. Why a square has 5 corners. That's why. Well, that's one of the reasons why. One of the many reasons. Anyway, Inner Space isn't really a very good movie. It's not like a movie that's entertaining me. It's kind of predictable. It's of its time. But I love seeing Authentic 1987. Brings me back to my high school days. The mall in that movie looks so much like the Arcadia Mall did in 1987. It's crazy. It's like, yep, that's a 1987 mall you filmed in. No doubt about that. Okay, Trouble. We'll watch you eat. We know how important it is to you to be seen and heard. Trouble believes language is neither for expressing themselves nor our ideas. He believes it's for giving commands. And right now, he's commanding us to watch him eat. Hello. Yes, you're a very good kitty. And Daddy loves you. Would you like to go outside, other kitty? Okay, there you go. I believe the kitties are our future. Pet them well and watch them eat their food. Show them all the meowies they have left inside. Give them a sense of pride for eating oh so well, because you chew so well. Yes, I believe the kitties are our future, including this important gentleman, for whom I should really start a kitty mukbang channel. Just live streams eating every time with no words at all, and just it's just videos of him eating food. I wonder if they'd ding me for repetitive content. Like, no. Look at it, it's different this time. He's eating differently. He's eating with added importance and vigor, and the dignity that few cats can ever attain. Yes, you're impressing every last one of us. You're impressing the pants off of all of us. Everybody here in the room, me. Everybody in the house, me, Rachel. Everybody outside, Capillo. And everybody on the internet who's watching. Which is like 6 people besides Rachel. So we're all, you've impressed the pants off of all of us. I continue to be just as astonished and impressed as I was at the first bite. You've not lost any of your momentum here. Yeah, I know. You're giving a lesson to all the other cats in the world. This is how you eat. If you're watching this and you have a cat, please bring your cat to the screen so that they can observe Trouble eat, so they can learn how to eat better. And or potentially more sexily. Because, I mean, that's some pretty sexy eating. Yeah. Eat that food. Eat it with your kitty mouth. Well, I guess he's done. Oh no, don't tread on me is a good flag. That flag just says, you know, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with Eric. You know, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say. If you're Eric, if you're Bob, you should say don't fuck with Bob. If you're Jeffrey and Jeffrey's mom, You should say, don't fuck with Jeffrey. And not say, how can I better bend over for you? Which is what Jeffrey's mom always wants to say. Not in those words, maybe, but more or less. That's what trying to interface this shit does, rather than trying to deliberate action it. It's the kind of thing that needs to be deliberate action. Not interface knowledge. One of the reasons, of course, is you can't interface with somebody you're not engaging with an interface capacity, right? It's like they don't get to meet the person who's going to read the essay, get to know them, get to know what they want to read, and try to manufacture that. It's not that kind of thing, right? It's just your imagination. Yes, it's just your imagination. You know that song? It tries to say that it's just your imagination. But first of all, even if it is your imagination, why is it just your imagination? Couldn't it be something else? Couldn't it be? It should be. I wonder if I can do a short with my 3 laws of stupidity in 15 seconds or less. Let me time it. Wait till it gets to the 12 and I'm going to time it. Eric's 3 laws of stupidity. 1. A person is unable or unwilling to distinguish between critiques of person, critiques of language, and critiques of behavior. 2. A person is unable or unwilling to justify the ends with anything other than the means. It's actually 3. 2 is you see what I'm saying? All he does is bark orders with his meows. He's not trying to communicate information. He's not trying to express himself or his emotions. He's just barking orders at me. Okay, go outside if you want. Now you don't want to go outside because you hear somebody using a power tool. Well, can we knock off the commanding meows then? Can we compromise? The answer is no, we cannot compromise. He insists on viewing things as his way or the highway. Anyway. Oh. Samba Ball says quantum mechanics proves karma is bullshit. Oh. Really? How? Care to explain? I'm always eager to learn. C drive cat behavior. Karma is like what goes around comes around. Or, ill-gotten gains are never spent well. That sort of notion. I mean, if Samba Ball had wanted to say something smart, he would have said, karma is too vaguely defined to make any claims about it. That's what he would have said. Or he would have asked a question like, have you operationalized your definition of karma? Of course not. It's magical thinking stuff. Magical thinking is magical thinking because it doesn't adhere to logic. It's not, yeah. Well, oh, you want the mechanics of karma? Well, the karma elves have a book where they keep track of everybody's shit. And then, when you got enough demerits next to your name, then they shit on your face, metaphorically, which is like you falling and breaking your arm literally. Okay? Because they push you down the stairs. That's how karma works. Right? The karma elves. You can see them if you smoke enough DMT. Satisfied, Jeremiah? Right? Does that satisfy you? It should. Because it was a very convincing explanation. I don't know why he keeps misspelling it Karam. The name Samba Ball, well, it makes me think of a bunch of Brazilians dressed up like medieval Europeans at a ball, but instead of dancing waltzes, they're dancing samba. I mean, my point, any point I was making about karma, as most of my points are, was linguistic. It's that we necessarily tell certain stories. Like the story Samba Ball is telling right now is good and evil don't exist. Somebody might tell an alternating story, good exists but not evil, evil exists but not good, or both exist, And how we engage with the stories we tell, in other words, the extent to which we're capable of distancing ourselves from our own claims and language and evaluating them objectively and putting the cart before, putting the horse before the cart, which is to say, generally a good idea to ask questions first. So you don't end up being surprised. Kind of common sense, but a lot of people don't get it because it's not their stack, Asking questions is a good way to try an opponent with their own words, right? Another law of stupidity might be a propensity for shifting ground when corrected. So it's like Samba Ball made statements like about quantum mechanics and karma. When I responded on point, when I asked him a question, he didn't have any explanation. When I actually responded to the general point across the board and gave an informative answer, instead of engaging the topic any further and learning anything, he shifts ground and immediately goes to, there is no good and evil. Senegalese, huh? Well, hello, Senegal. How are you? I've watched your soccer team play on a couple of occasions. You guys periodically make the World Cup. Congratulations for that. You're one of the more reliable sides in African soccer, along with, let's say, Nigeria and South Africa is pretty good usually. Maybe one of the North African countries like Algeria, they're usually pretty good at soccer. Did you see how Ruben's asking questions? It's amazing. It's amazing the power of asking questions. It's also important to answer them. Life's a funny thing. I gotta work with Chloe at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I gotta work with this girl. I don't know how old she is, like 13, 14, something like that. 15 maybe. I'm not sure. For less than an hour at 5 o'clock on vocabulary sentences. Basically, because I can't say no to Chow Wa and Hui because they're so good to us. They're so cool with us. They like us. They're our friends. We went to LA and we saw my daughter and we saw them. The only people we saw. They insisted on having lunch with us. And buying lunch for us, which was very nice of them. But now I gotta work with Chloe on vocabulary sentences, and I'm like stressed out about having to work at 5 o'clock. Just chill out, Eric. That's what made me go off the Kalani wagon. I was like, I gotta work at 5. Oh no, what am I gonna do? I hate working. It'll be fine. She's supposed to use these words in their various meanings in sentences she makes up. The problem is this girl's NE-polar. Okay? No, the mom's an ESTJ. The dad and the daughter are both ISTPs, and the son's an ENTP. I think only in the family is a fairly common phenomenon. Where a family has one person who's intuitive in it, and everybody else in the family is a sensor. I think that's fairly common. Rachel's dad's an intuitive, I think. Pretty sure he's an INFP. But yeah, well, eventually she got it through her head that she kept trying to position it as I don't like Chloe, which is ridiculous. I like Chloe just fine. Okay? Chloe's great. But force I cannot force somebody to any polar somehow to have extroverted intuition. It just doesn't. It's just impossible. You can't teach it. It's a way of paying attention. This is a horrible kind of shit that because teachers aren't informed of this. This is why the education system's all got its head in its ass. If I had a brand of cigarettes, what would I name it? Eric's Smoking Sticks. I'd name it Eric's Smoking Sticks. Mindy probably doesn't smoke, but Tiffany does. And Tiffany's the kind of lady who smokes designer cigarettes that are made to smell like her vagina. Do I believe that aliens exist and is simulation hypothesis plausible? My current position on aliens, like intelligent alien life or life visiting this planet, is no. It is much more likely that no such creatures exist than that they do. But I could be proven wrong by new evidence. Regarding the second question, is simulation hypothesis plausible? Absolutely. Tiffany has two dominant functions and no polar. What do you think her two dominant functions are? I think one reason to believe in well, I was thinking about making a video with Tiffany earlier. You see, this says full flavored hop forward. I was thinking about making a video of Tiffany saying, that's not really a beer. She said, that's drug. Stop telling me how to hop. So anyway, Joseph Dixon, Mary Hand. If you get married, do not hyphenate your name. Don't become Mary Dixon Hand and Joe Dixon Hand. And if you do, don't name your son Holden. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up next. What's coming up next in life, today, etc. It's currently 3:45. I have to work at 5 p.m. Why math is hard? It kind of depends on what and how you find it hard. So, like, I found geometry both easy and fun. And the reason is because you understand the purpose of it. Yeah, Fi and Ni polar. I agree. So that means she's got TI and SI tool. Well, I've never said that before. It's something I could totally imagine her saying. Don't be such a baby. I've done this like 10 times. I've been bad over Holland. Oops. Well, yeah, they're not like. So I told that girl, like, suck my butt. Y'all stink.
Hi, handsome.
Hi, darling. Math is my cock. That's why it's hard. Because Rachel just walked in the room. Samba ball. Math is hard. Remember that big hubbub that like the Barbie company got into, and they made a talking Barbie doll that said, "Math is hard." And then they had to make a bunch of talking Barbie dolls that said things like, "I'm so good at STEM subjects. I'm going to pursue an education in the STEM fields." Math is hard. Depends on what kind of math you do. If you're having trouble with geometry, it's because your TI sucks. Any TI, maybe. If you're having trouble with algebra, it's because you don't like being bored. If you're having trouble with calculus, it's because it's too hard. You're not that smart, and neither am I.
For me, math like really depended on the teacher. Like, if the teacher knew the subject of math but didn't know how to teach it well, as in like, because I'm TE Polar, I really do need to know the steps involved. But even then, even when I knew the steps, if I did not practice math, I was gonna fail. I never failed, but I got a C. I didn't do well.
Well, it's not something you can know. It's something you got to deliberate / TE process.
Yeah, you do have. It's a lot of TE. Because even like we get very frustrated with me because I might get the answer right technically,
but you wouldn't show you the right work for them.
I would mix up the numbers. So say the answer was 168, I would put 186, and then boom, answer's wrong.
It's like number dyslexia.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that funny thing you called something the other day?
God, no. I wish.
I can't remember it either. So a new group asks, what if good at geometry because of ability to extrapolate missing data? Well, I would imagine that might be one component of it. I'm not sure how much any comes into play with geometry, but that's plausible. But I do know that TI comes into it as well because they're proofs, and proofs are very TI oriented. The new group, I believe you self-identify as an ENFP. Can you share your experience with your geometry class? I gotta warn you guys, I'm not wearing modesty pants today.
Oh, I was wondering. I saw it there.
You can see, I'm just gonna back up a little bit. I'm not gonna get too suggestive, but you can see from a distance, I'll let you glance. I'm immodest all the way from the knee down. Yeah. If it's getting a little steamy wherever you are, don't worry, you're alone. Do what you need to do. Oh, I thought you self-identified as such for some reason.
And like,
I must be mixing you up with someone else.
it's it's like impossible. It's almost impossible to type someone through chat. Like I feel like I can't do it.
I can't do it. I might be mixing you up with Goonruv. I don't know if you've seen him around here. His name's kind of similar to yours. Easy to get you two confused. You can tip someone through chat. I think you can tip me through chat. I don't think you can tip other people through chat. Oh, you can gift them memberships, I think.
Yeah.
Can I tip you through the chat? Let's see. I don't have any of those options here. I see. Maybe if I were not the channel account, maybe if I were Eric Strauss account. The thing I remember about karma is that the word that comes after it is chameleon. There you go. There you go. Now I'm gently fingering all of you. Isn't that nice? Did you find that soothing? You can imagine it anywhere on your body you want. Tip of your nose. You can imagine it wherever you'd like. Your imagination belongs to you, okay? Nobody should police your imagination. Except official imagination police. Unless they've been vetted by the proper authorities and empowered to shoot at will, then young sly boy, listen. Like I said, you can imagine it wherever you want. If you prefer it, gently touching your lips like this, that's okay. You can put it wherever you want, young boy sly. Young sly boy. If you just want to ET me, that's okay too. We could be ETing like this. If I tip you 800, will you type me 800 times? No. That would be $1 per typing. And then, if you want, you can imagine a jutsu of some sort. Kage no Bushin Jutsu, which is a shadow clone jutsu. Now, there's Eric's everywhere, but only one of them is real. Which one is it? Nobody can tell the difference between me and my shadow clones. That's what makes Kage no Bushin Jutsu so powerful.
Do you think that Naruto Shippuden has the best jutsus?
Well, I mean, yeah, you gotta say that they are the king of the jutsu universe.
Mm. Look at Capito.
Throw a rock at his head, you'll find the right one eventually. Are you sure it's the rock? Is the challenge there? Maybe it's the aim.
Capito's like contemplating like the cat door.
Yeah, they don't like that cat door. But they don't like this cat door either. Capio doesn't like it because she's worried that Trouble might be outside ready to pounce on her.
Oh.
Trouble doesn't like it because he's too fat. I have watched all of One Punch Man, yes. I've watched it all. I think I've even watched it twice. Rachel, dear, would you like a specially enhanced bong rib?
I would.
I'll put weed down first, and then a speck of shatter on the top. Here at Christmas time, we know it's time to get ourselves properly high. And so why not, oh why not, smoke this?
Thank you.
Sure. There's a lighter for you as well. It came with a lighter and a song.
So beautiful.
This is so old. We've had this for such a long time. We rarely smoke it.
I didn't even know that we had it.
Yeah, well, I was looking for something with a little bit of extra pop today, I guess. I like more pop than snap and crackle in my Rice Krispies, whatever they are. Whether the Rice Krispies are actual Rice Krispies or just a metaphor for whatever. Let's see what you say here. I just don't like that he's beyond S tier, although he still gets stomped by Goku. He's just a troll. Well, I mean, Goku is unfair because the longer he fights, the stronger he gets. And he can destroy like whole galaxies and stuff. So he's too OP. Your favorite anime is Family Guy. Family Guy is not an anime.
That's an American cartoon.
Yeah. You call an American cartoon. There are some good American cartoons, like
Now,
Simpsons. Family Guy's pretty good.
What would South Park be categorized?
I'd call it an American cartoon.
Okay.
It's much better. South Park's much better than Family Guy.
Yeah.
Much smarter anyway. Family Guy can be relatively entertaining.
It can be, but it does have a level of immaturity to it at times.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny to say that in juxtaposition with South Park, which is as willfully immature as it can be on one level.
That's true, but for some reason, like,
it's smart, is why.
Yeah, it is.
It's ultimately usually smart enough to avoid mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally it makes them, but it's definitely. I've called it for a long time the smartest show on television. Of course, being such, all of its social commentary is more or less negationary. It's saying everybody's doing meow wrong, meow wrong, meow wrong, meow wrong. Both sides are wrong.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was scary. It was a cartoon, but it was not.
Who would win in a fight between Courage the Cowardly Dog and Goku? Courage the Cowardly Dog's superpower is somehow getting out of scrapes. So now there's an interesting question. Would Goku or Courage the Cowardly Dog win in the fight? Because Courage the Cowardly Dog, he always wins against people who are way stronger than him. With his cowardly ways. So, my point, I guess, is that Courage the Cowardly Dog is the most powerful of all the anime characters. Especially because he's not an anime character. But really, I think the most powerful of all the superheroes of all time are the Wonder Twins.
Oh my god, I forgot about the Wonder Twins.
One of them can turn into an animal, the other into some kind of water. That's pretty good. I mean, do you think Goku's going to beat that? Form of an eagle. Form of a bucket of water. That's their superpowers.
What if you kick over the bucket of water? Does he lose parts of himself?
No, I seem to remember him being able to like go down drains and stuff and then re-emerge on the other side. So I mean that's pretty convenient if you want to go down some drains.
Sure.
You wouldn't want to go down our drain, you just find yourself in the septic tank.
Yeah.
Then how are you gonna get out?
I'm wondering if
that's the biggest danger of being that Wonder Twin is to slip down a drain to a septic tank and then how's he gonna get out?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That gives me anxiety. I don't even have that power.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if before, like sometimes in the fall, we check or maybe get cleaned our septic tank. Like I have no idea when we're supposed to get that.
Les said 10 years.
Less than 10 years?
Yeah, he explained the way the septic tanks work to me as well. That liquid we're putting in the septic tank is not staying in the septic tank. It's designed for the liquids to go down over this layer, through these layers of sedimentary rock that filter out all the impurities and stuff, and then returns to the aquifer.
Okay. And yeah, I remember him. I do remember now him saying that he left it. Yeah, that they didn't get it checked until 10 years. We might.
When I asked him how long until I needed that pumped, he said 10 years at least.
Mm.
And he knew a lot about it. So he had stringent septic codes around here.
We have great. I mean, we have great plumbing. It's like ridiculous how good.
I know, it's amazing. I was just thinking, here's a superhero I've never heard of before. Maybe I could make it up right now.
Uh-huh.
Nuclear bomb man.
Oh my god.
And his superpower is that he can shoot nuclear bombs from his hands.
Oh, game over, right?
Right? Obviously, he's going to have some kind of protective barrier that allows him to shoot off a lot of small nuclear bombs places. He can scale them too, like a nuclear bomb that instead of 1,000 kilotons of TNT or whatever is just one stick of TNT. It's like this small. But he still ends up spreading a lot of radiation everywhere.
Oh no!
People are like, well, yeah, you stopped the bank robbers, but you made central New York unlivable for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah, like, thanks.
Yeah. Scrotum Man, he's an interesting superhero, yeah. He's just all scrotum.
So, like, he's all scrotum but no balls?
No balls. Just
so he's
all
just
scrotum.
kind of like a leather.
Yeah, he's like a slime.
Yeah, like a slime, like
In Dungeons
slime.
and Dragons, yeah. Bollywood needs a superhero. How about Colored Dust Man? You can shoot out different colors of dust at will. And I was like, it's so dusty in here. Yeah. He moves around spooky when observed. He's constantly wriggling a little bit, expanding and contracting. Hey, Scrotum Man. I'd rather you not sit on my lap, actually, because that's cool. Oh, God. Every time he comes over, we have to clean up pubic hairs afterwards.
Oh!
He's got these big, long fucking pubic hairs. It's like a regular scrotum scaled up by 20 times, maybe 100 times. How big would a scrotum be if it were 100 times as big as it is?
100 times as big as it is?
Would it be this big?
I think so.
Or bigger? Do you think you'd fit 100 regular scrotums in there? Assuming
maybe a little bigger.
I guess it depends on how you fit the scrotums, right? Like, are you stretching them all the way out? That would depend on how many you could fit into, say, a burlap sack. Yeah, is it taut, right? If they're all taut, sprinkled up as much as possible, then
you become smaller.
Right, you could fit maybe 1,000 scrotums in a burlap sack. In a big burlap sack, say bigger than a pillowcase, And of course, yeah, he would change sides depending on the weather and other factors, you know. I'm gonna head on in. Rachel doesn't think she'll notice that I've gotten up and left the room yet. That's fine. She's engrossed in something on her phone. No, I didn't say she was being engrossed with something on her phone. I said she was engrossed. God, you should gotta learn a vocabulary. You should get to learn a vocabulary. Wouldn't you agree? That's what you should do. Captain Planet may have been the worst cartoon of all time. If you've not seen Charge Man Ken, Charge Man Ken may be the worst cartoon of all time. Granted, it doesn't have the added annoyance factor of being woke, but it has the slightly appalling factor of not being woke. Okay, so anyway, Scrotum Man and Nuclear Bomb Man can team up to save the world from evil. All Scrotum Man, says Scrotum Man as he jumps on the bank robber. The Nuclear Bomb Man says, "Let me nuclear bomb him." And Scrotum Man says, "No, enough with the nuclear bombs."
Do you think you can maybe roll me 2 more joints?
We're kind of out of. Oh, there's papers right there.
You found the papers that were missing.
I didn't. They were just right there the whole time. Anyways, Scrotum Man keeps growing in size because he keeps being exposed to more radiation.
That's not good.
But he's become increasingly successful at capturing villains by enveloping them in their scrotally folds. You missed Typology, so that might be something we do here some point again. It certainly seems to provoke a lot of controversy.
It does.
People love being told they're not the type they're not the type they are. Oh yeah, people love that. People love it when you tell them, "I'm sorry, you're not an ENTP. You're something else." And they go, "Ah!" Doesn't matter if I put disclaimers. Okay.
Oh yes. Oh yes. It's B.B. Strauss.
Kind of makes me want to do it again, though you mention it, actually.
I don't think we have the costumes anymore,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
but we can still do it.
We could order ourselves new costumes
Sure.
easily enough.
Yeah.
We just have to use our ordering fingers.
Our ordering fingers?
Yeah. With the and the pia. And the pia. And then with the mouse, click, 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 pa, like that. That's how you use your ordering fingers.
When we're done with this, can I use your Amazon to order the curtains? I'm gonna order curtains, bun huggers, and what was the other thing?
What were Josh talking about a second ago? Right? What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
We're gonna rewatch it and say. Oh, let me think. Let me think. Policeman costumes.
Is that what? No, but that was that would be the fourth thing. I really thought there was a third thing.
I think the third thing is policeman costumes.
Okay, sure. And I think the thing that I was calling silly straws.
Silly straws.
I was looking at Thai. Maybe I was calling them Thai straws. Do you remember I was saying something about like the Thai twist man? I called them like silly.
Oh, bendy straw.
Bendy straw. Yeah, bendy straw.
That's right. Good. Good remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Plebeian TP. Of course, you know this means war. Well, I'm not worried about things like that.
Meow.
It's a constant battle around here. You know that. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, and trying to catch me riding dirty. But they're not gonna catch me riding dirty. 'Cause I ride clean. Mofugenites. We are the Mofugenite people. Don't wear those glasses, Eric. Somebody told me. They're ladies' glasses.
Someone told you that?
Yeah. Well, they asked. Were those glasses originally for ladies?
You got them at like a antique shop.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
I think they're fashion.
I'm pretty fashion forward. I got on a coat. Got on a shirt. Got on pants.
Not modesty pencil.
No, not modesty pants. Earlier, when I was in the garage, Rachel, and I was framing myself against the tan of the cabinets, I discovered that I was color blocking. I had blue against tan.
Oh my gosh, it is color blocking.
Yeah.
You're color blocking in your own way.
Yeah. My outfit wasn't probably color blocking. Oh, did something happen? No. I was just, Rachel brought up karma the other day when I was talking about switching doctors. And it'd probably be good karma to stop, like, burdening this other doctor with ongoing requests to refill my prescription when I haven't seen him in years, you know. And it made me think about karma in general. It made me remember specifically a quote from Stephen on Naked and Afraid, Last One Standing, I think it was. Could have been a different one. Where he said, nature karma is real when he chose not to kill a sloth. I don't know if you remember that episode or not.
No, I don't.
But made me start thinking about karma in general, and I thought karma would be a good title. Young sly boy, that's just your penis. Okay? Just leave it alone and go to sleep and you'll be fine. My penis likes to slither around the house at night too. After Rachel goes upstairs, it tries to sneak out of the room and go find her.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently, he tries to climb in her mouth while she's sleeping. I have scolded him about this a number of times. That's rude, I told him. But, you know, my penis sleepwalks. What am I going to do? Penis plus testicles equals the 2 of pentacles. I think it's the 3 of pentacles. I think the peen is 1 and each of the tentacles is 2. For example, or you can think of it as 3 like this. I've got a penis, a scrotum, a pair of testicles.
So good.
You can think of it like that. It's a trinity, like all good things in life.
That song now makes me scared.
Why do you think
That
I'm
guy,
going to be tempted by the fruit of another?
Yeah, that guy didn't think he was going to be.
Is that what he said in the song?
That's how I'm interpreting it.
Oh, you ain't gotta worry about me, darling. I am scared of girls.
I'm scared of guys.
With good cause.
Wow.
What you might call puss shy.
I don't know why I find that so funny. I know, because you are so funny.
That's not my term, actually.
Oh, really?
That's something Taylor called me one time.
Taylor called you push shy? Oh my god, Taylor.
Or it may have actually been somebody else when I was there for the conversation.
It sounds a little bit like.
But it wouldn't be inappropriate to call me that. When he said it, I thought, oh, I'm that.
Oh, yeah.
I got weed all over my shirt. 4:20. It's 4:20 right now. I've got to get my cigarettes.
Hi, Squire Bubblingtons.
I just can't get over what a good song it is.
It is a good song. That's Squeeze, right?
Yeah, it's a really well written song.
It is. And it's interesting too because like it's pretty different from other Squeeze songs.
It doesn't sound like any of their songs at all.
No.
You would never guess it was squeeze if you
No.
knew there were other material and heard it.
No, you told me that it was squeeze. I was like, really? Oh, squeeze?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a real accomplishment of composition. I passed the church and the steeple, the laundry on the hill, pajamas, I asked in my reflection, let's get out of this place. And then goes past the church and the steeple, laundry on the hill. Memories of it still keep calling and calling. Trying to get on and in it down. Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, but the truth is discovered. What's been going on? Now that you are gone, there's no other. You think I want to end up like that guy?
No.
No. I'm too smart and old to end up like that guy. Now that you're gone, there's no other. There's no other while you're here. So that way I don't have to worry about that.
We go everywhere together too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be like very in panic mode if like one day you're just like packing up your clothes and you're like, I gotta go.
Oh, I got an appointment in Albuquerque. I'll see you in a couple of days. Yeah, well, I did go to Boot Jack without telling you today, Rachel.
That's true. So we're not always together.
I was gone a total of 45 minutes. It took me 20 minutes from Boot Jack to get to Boot Jack, 20 minutes back. And it might have taken presumably as few as 3 minutes in the store. That leaves 2 minutes unaccounted for. Who knows what I did in those 2 minutes?
No wonder you wanted to work at Boot Jack. No.
I would never, ever, ever, ever cheat on you. I will never, ever, cheat on you.
I will never ever cheat on you. That's just like, it's like.
It's inconceivable. Impossible. Will not ever happen. And you and I are connected at the hip.
Yeah, we are.
And we have been for quite a while now.
Yeah. Connected at the hip for a while now. If you counted up all the days us together, that'd be a lot of days.
Well, we've been in Mariposa for 6 months plus, 7 months, 8 months. Almost coming up on 9 months we've been here. And then prior to that, we were together for a couple of years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Our anniversary is coming up September 14th.
Yeah.
What day is it today?
Either the 8th or 9th.
I think it's the 10th.
Oh my gosh. Does someone know what the date is? Can you guys help us out? I got penis, scrotum, pair of testicles.
I don't know what this is. I can't read it.
It's September 10th. No, wait. 2001. Is it September 10th, though? Must be, I guess. I just got it wrong.
I think it is the 10th.
Wow, September 10th, 2001. A day I don't remember.
Me neither, ironically enough.
No.
I went outside, kitty, bang, bang. Now we've got 2 cats in the yard.
Yeah, we got 2 cats in the yard.
Life used to be so hard, but everything is easy because of you. There's 1 cat in the yard. And here's the other cat in the yard. Eric, you might be saying, that's not a yard. Look, whenever that group was sang that song, they meant yard as any space around the home. I wrote to the lead singer and asked them. And they agreed that the driveway counts as the yard. So I don't want to hear any pushback from anybody about that. Well, just 30 minutes till I gotta do a little WORK in Cincinnati. I read some celebrity thing. Oh, this morning.
Did you?
Yeah. Do you know that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are going out?
Yeah, they're married.
They're married, yeah.
Did it describe how they're like supporting Danny Masterson? Or?
Oh, they talked about them apologizing for any distress their letter may have caused, or whatever. Because they wrote a letter expressed, in defense, in support of him, saying, please be lenient. I don't know what to make of it. It doesn't seem to me that there's any particular reason to doubt the veracity of the witness statements.
Yeah. I think it actually happened.
What's he said about it? Where's Danny
0,
Masterson?
nothing. He hasn't talked about it at all.
He didn't clarify. Yes, I knew. So then that to me is, granted, silence does not prove of guilt. But if he won't even testify in his own defense, then that, regardless of what the judge instructions are regarding that, which is that it shouldn't impact your decision making at all, to me, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Because if I were accused of something like that, I would come out and say, I actually have never had any contact with this woman, do not know what she is. Or I would come out and say, yes, we had intercourse, but it was totally consensual, this is completely made up bullshit or whatever. I would use facts. Uh-oh. Phone's about to die. Well, it's a good time to end the live stream. I would use facts to defend myself, right?
Yeah, you do anything to defend yourself.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't remain silent about it.
Yeah. You'd have yes. Whatever. Ashton Kutcher is kind of like a slime ball, but you would have people from that time, like the director and producer maybe come out and vouch for you.
Right. Well, it's not like, well, this guy was cool to me. He doesn't rape me. Okay, well, that doesn't mean he's cool in general. No, I don't have typing. I do have to work, though. I have to work with Chloe.
there's past statements of Mila Kunis, before she was with Ashton Kutcher, saying like she was a young actress, she was underage actually at one point, and she's come out and said that it was a toxic work environment. It wasn't. She had stuff happen to her while on that set, but you know.
Really?
Yeah. But Danny Masterson and Ashton Kutcher were really close, so it's like, you know, I guess you want to support your husband. I know, it's weird.
Well, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a tough one. All right. Well, I guess we're running out of internet or something. So I'm gonna clock down here and call it a stream. We got a couple things to do. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for being here. Love you, and don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.